Hello again, everyone. It's This Week in Agribusiness meteorologist Greg Solier. We're back in for Max Armstrong. Welcome to Farm Progress Dateline Drought. Our continuing coverage of the drought of 2012 is brought to you by Genuity Drought Guard Hybrids. Hope that Thanksgiving holiday weekend, a long one for many, but remember there was always plenty to do on the farmstead in holiday mode. I'll certainly hope that treated you kindly. Weather certainly did. Strong cold front over the course of the holiday weekend, but not much in the way of any real widespread organized moisture. And in its stead, we're back into a pretty quiet scenario, but on the cold side for the next couple of days across much of the Midwest. Series of weak disturbances on the move, generating a couple of spells of sprinkle and then snow flurry activity, and then high pressure, which is taking hold. And with it, sunshiny days away from the Great Lakes region, cold nights, plenty of crusting and firming out there in the feedlots of the back 40. But back westward of the Missouri, milder days already underway in the heart of that drought country. And boy, it is certainly present and will stay that way with little in the way of any organized moisture foreseen throughout much of the plains. A different story into the Pacific Northwest, California, the northern tier states, and ultimately into the eastern Corn Belt as we move along into the first few days of December. And again, no real cold air in sight by any means. A real easy go of it, prepping for the wintertime season and perhaps even putting a wrap on harvest and fall field work. Now, onto that drought monitor. If you missed it over the Thanksgiving holiday, here's the way it shapes up over the eastern Corn Belt. Improvements continue to see and be experienced into areas of lower Michigan, eastern Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, and as you venture into the Tennessee Valley, the deep south, still some areas of dryness to extreme drought in the southeastern states. Here's the core of trouble. Winter wheat needs moisture. We did see some snowfall over the past 36 to 48 hours into parts of north central Nebraska, but just a few hundredths of an inch water equivalent. So the shift in weather continues to be that of beneficial rains and moisture of late east and expanding dryness and drought across the heartland. The 6 to 10 day outlook does not bode well for any significant and or widespread precipitation, but certainly good news from a temperature standpoint. No real sign of any early season Arctic air. Temperature readings continue well above average and entrench firmly into the Red River Valley of the South, the southwestern states, and temperatures at least a few degrees on average above normal. Some days 10 or 15 degrees above average throughout much of the Midwest, the Great Lakes region, and the Corn Belt areas too. Back across the country for precip, you ask, into the first few days of December. Not much in the offing over the central and southern plains, southwestern states. Wet weather continues on. Big sky snowfall there, Pacific Northwest, Great Lakes region into the northeast, as well as New England. That is a check on weather. Now on to Bryce Knorr. Now look at markets.
It can be frustrating for farmers when crop prices pay more attention to what's happening on Wall Street than to their fundamentals of supply and demand. Prices bucked that trend on Monday, with traders returning from the long Thanksgiving holiday weekend to ponder the big questions, including weather and export demand. Soybeans led the charge higher, at least early in the day. Rain in Argentina threatens to delay planting further, while dry conditions in parts of southern Brazil are also raising a few eyebrows. However, prices started to fade from their highs after the latest export inspections report came in at only 45.5 million bushels. While that was twice the rate forecast by USDA for the rest of the entire marketing year, it was behind trade expectations, which have grown accustomed to some huge numbers the past couple of weeks. Weakness in outside markets may have also factored into profit-taking. Still, January futures closed up 6 cents at 14.24 3/4. Corn also saw some follow-through buying from last week, with December futures confirming a move above its 50-day moving average with an outside day higher. Still, corn finished well off its highs at 7.47 1/4, up only 1 3/4 on the day. Export inspections came in at just under 16 million bushels at the low end of trade guesses, with not a lot of other news to sustain gains. Kansas City was featured in the wheat complex thanks to more concerns about the condition of the hard red winter wheat crop. Traders expected the percentage of the crop rated good to excellent to drop again, and after the close, that's just what happened, keeping the crop at the lowest on record for the agency's last report of the season. The decline trimmed another third of a bushel off yield potential according to my model, which now projects a nationwide yield of 47.25 for winter wheat. Wheat was held back by another slow week of export trade, however. Inspections totaled just 7.8 million bushels, only a third of the rate forecast by USDA for the rest of the marketing year. While big tenders are being floated in North Africa and the Middle East, the U.S. looks competitive only for soft wheat. Still, Kansas City December gained 6 cents to $8.8425. Chicago was up a penny and a quarter to $8.49, and Minneapolis was 1.25 higher at $9.15. Keep up with the drought situation across the country by visiting www.datelinedrought.com.